We're joined now by military analyst and former U.S. Army Major Mike Lyons. Mike, good to see you. You heard those words there of Donald Trump. They're all dead. That's what he's claiming. Yet, though, we still had this Iranian strike on a U.S. base in Saudi Arabia. How does all that add up?
Yeah, that's a very bad strike from the U.S. perspective because it's a deep strike. They were able to hit the Prince Sultan Air Base there. It has strategic assets. It's like them hitting the gas station of the U.S. forces there, the KC-135s that refuel the jets. And it's well inside of Saudi Arabia. It was a two-pronged attack from ballistic missile that was likely intercepted, but then also with a drone swarm. So you have a sophisticated military that was able to still pull this kind of attack off and send this signal. I think that, the president, or 2 days ago, it was the Secretary of War, made a comment that this military was neutralized, but that's clearly not the case today.
Yeah, we've heard words like obliteration, decimated, words coming from the U.S. president. Is none of that true then?
Well, you're seeing now this classic asymmetric battle that's taking place, that Iran wins by not losing. It's, obviously the United States has got a greater military capacity and ability, but Iran can still hit certain choke points. It can pick and choose when it wants to strike out, and it can hit vulnerable areas. Obviously, it's felt this was a vulnerable area and it got through. And so that's where we're at. This is kind of an asymmetric war in the air, and on the ground this would be kind of a guerrilla warfare terrorism. But right now it's taking place from the skies, with the United States still trying to intercept the missiles and the drone swarms, and the Iranians picking and choosing when they launch those attacks.
Mike, you were part of the U.S. Operation Desert Storm. Looking at this current military operation on Iran, would you say that it's been a success so far on the battlefield?
Well, that operation had both an air campaign and a ground campaign, and I'm still waiting for a potential ground campaign to take place. Now, it won't be anything like Desert Storm. We won't have 500,000 troops or the main battle tanks we had then. But I don't see how the president's going to be able to declare some kind of visual victory until United States troops are inside of Iran, planting a flag someplace where there's some clear sign of American victory. You can look at the air campaign. I think it's going very well. I think we're taking out tremendous amount of capability that they have at scale. They don't have a ballistic missile program anymore. Obviously, the president's very rhetorical in how he thinks it's going, but degraded is what was really taking place, not destroyed, and there's a big difference in that.
So do you think that the U.S. should launch a ground operation then?
Well, I think that depends. I think the ground operation's got to be very specific. I think, for example, the ground operation along the coastline, along the Straits of Hormuz, would help protect some of those ships that are going through there. If there's Iranian soldiers there that are firing missiles at some of those container ships or oil ships trying to go through the straits there, those missiles are not interceptable. And so that has got to be very secure. The only way that's done is on the ground. And possibly the president will go forward and say, look, we're going to take Kharg Island. We're going to take the Iranian oil refineries. We're going to possess them and keep Iran from creating inventory. The United States is good at fighting wars, but not necessarily waging wars. And I think this president is looking to wage war by doing something dramatic. He's given him the 10-day reprieve right now for the striking of the electrical grid, and we'll see what happens next.
All right. Mike Lyons, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.